In today's video, we are going to be going over my picks for the top 10 Geometry Dash players, 2025 edition. You guys showed a lot of support on last year's video, so naturally, we're back for this year. Just a couple of things to go over. I'm pretty well tuned into the Geometry Dash community. Now these videos come out at the beginning of the year. Of course, things will change as time goes on, and maybe even a few days after the video releases, as things tend to move quickly in this community. That being said, there's no need to give updates on what is going on, as I'm pretty aware. It's cool if you're mentioning stuff that's going on, just don't think that what I'm saying in this video is inaccurate because things change after it releases. Number 2, by player, I mean Geometry Dash player in the traditional sense. Not mobile players, not platformer players, not challenge players, not well-rounded players, traditional players in the sense most people think of. In the comments of another video of mine, I explained why differentiating and making subsets for players is important. 3, player rankings on Pointer Crate don't correlate to skill. Take a look at this video I made on top players and non-top players. 4, global player rankings, or star grinders, are in an absolutely different league than top players. Players like Schmiffy, Mr. Spaghetti, and Volplay, although better than most people, are horrible compared to top players. Mr. Spaghetti's hardest level is Thinking Space, which isn't even in the top 75 hardest levels in the game. These guys star grind, which is different than beating the hardest levels. Number 5, the demon list is very shaky. For one, I don't know if all of these placements are accurate, namely Nullscapes being a top 3, Avernus being top 2, Tunnel of Despair being above AOD. This is the case due to conflicting opinions among top players. For this reason, I'll be showing you the particular level rating of a completion at the time each person achieved their completion. If you're confused, you'll see what I mean in a second. Also, because almost half of the demon list is filled with new levels, I will still treat a level which was in the top 10 for the majority of 2024 as a top 10 achievement. So for instance, Slaughterhouse, Sakupin Circles, and Cosmos, even though they technically aren't top 10 levels anymore, I'll still be treating them as a top 10 level achievement in this video. In terms of the actual rankings of this video, I will be telling you why each person is above the player below them. So without any further ado, let's get straight into it. I was going to put R Shadow above Light. This is because Light has done absolutely nothing this year but Avernus. But Avernus has been moved above Acheron once again, and with that in mind, Light has more achievements than R Shadow. Not much to say about Light that I didn't say last year. He's beaten Avernus, Acheron, Abyss of Darkness, Kiyuki, Firework, Oblivion, and the new RGB series. Now we're just waiting for him to drop his Avernus video. He's overall a good top player, but just hasn't done much of anything this year, unfortunately. Yeah, bro! Что? Surfax is the kind of top player who is going from decent to one of the best. His work this year definitely shows, as he has made great achievements in the past 11 months. He's beaten Acheron, Tunnel of Despair, Firework, Oblivion, Edge of Destiny, Sonic Wave Infinity, Abyss of Darkness, Minus Drive, Spectre, Cosmos, and Avernus, all in 1 year. He's proven to be able to beat top levels at a top level of speed, and is becoming more and more seasoned of a player. It took Surfax way shorter to beat Avernus than Light did, and has 10 more noteworthy achievements in the past year, which is why he's at number 9. Я прошел очаров! Mizuki has also had a decent year with his completions of Slaughterhouse, Walter White, Abyss of Darkness, Kiyuki, Jigsaw, and Minus Dry, just to name a few. Not to mention, Mizuki's an Acheron victor, but beat Acheron multiple times when it was the second hardest level in the game. He's also a victor of buffed Acheron and has 61% on Tidal Wave, which used to be over qualifying percent. I'm putting Mizuki over Servax because I personally think, based on the opinions of Trick, W Popoff, and other top players, that Acheron is harder than Avernus, even though Avernus is currently higher on the list again. That being said, Mizuki has beaten Acheron multiple times, a buffed version of Acheron, and has made considerable progress on Tidal Wave, which Servax has none of those things. This is why I'm putting Mizuki at a comfortable top 8.
I don't know what to say for reaction, guys. I really don't know what to say.
At number 7, we have Thunder. He's in the same spot as he was last year, but that is still pretty good, all things considered. He again beats mid-tier main list levels with ease, and has even put in some work with top levels this year. In 2024, he beat levels like Solar Flare, Deadlier Clubstep, was the first victor of Ordinary, the first victor of Psychopath, the first victor of Menace, which peaked at number 11, was the second victor of Kosetsu, and the second victor of Spectre. He beat Eyes in the Water, and has finally beaten Acheron. He placed second in the Geometry Dash Cash Cup over players like Diamond, Lord Vadercraft, Denny, and Jesse Gaming, all of which are professional Geometry Dash players. He's ranked number 3 on Pornocrate, with his accurate rank being number 4. All in all, Thunder is a well-known player who beats main list levels with incredible speed. He has beaten a lot more main list levels than Mizuki, and like Mizuki, has progress on Tidal Wave. Thunder is much faster with lower tier main list levels than Mizuki is, and has beaten Mizuki's second hardest official level, not achievement, Abyss of Darkness, almost 2 years ago. That is why Thunder narrowly places above Mizuki.
But that is the end of this matchup. Thunder sending Jesse home early, but not without a good effort by Jesse at the end there.
And our number 6 spot is Tyago. Funny enough, he is ranked number 6 in the world, just like in this video. Right after my last video, Tyago became more active and started to be somewhat consistent of a player again. Some notable achievements from this year are Edge of Destiny, Poo Cubed, Solar Flare, he verified Kazetsu, he beat Walter White, the Young Geyer, which is how you pronounce it. I don't want to hear any comments roasting my pronunciation. Sukupen Circles, Tunnel of Despair, and is now verifying a new level, Andromeda, which is said to be top 10 difficulty. He already beat Acheron, is the second victor of Kiyuki, and beat Slaughterhouse. He's been playing at a top level for over 2 years now. His most notable achievement this year is getting 73% on Tidal Wave, being the only one besides Mizuki to get decent progress on the level aside from his victors. With the Tidal Wave progress and beating Acheron and Kiyuki over a year ago, I'm comfortably putting Tyago above Thunder. Thunder would have taken a much higher position if it weren't for his shattered motivation. It took him 2.5 years to beat Acheron after initially starting it. He has tried and put off Kiyuki, tried and put off Silent Clubstep, tried and put off Sukupen Circles as a break from Silent Clubstep, dropped Sweeping Demon 2, It even took a while to beat Eyes in the Water after having 94%. Thunder has the speed, but has inconsistent consistency with top levels, if that makes sense. If it weren't for that, he would have been placed higher. But for now, Tiago takes the number 6 spot.
Oh my god! What the fuck?
Doggy is a GOAT of the community, starting off as Nepesta's editor to becoming a top player while also being one of the most popular content creators on Geometry Dash YouTube. But make no mistake, he's a player first. It is worth noting that he beats most of his completions in full detail, as most of, if not all, the other players on this list use low detail copies of their levels, which is physically the same, but visually less intense. Doggy plays and beats top levels in the way they are actually intended to be played and beaten. Doggy has been a top player for a long time now. In terms of this generation of levels, he's the first victor of Acheron, has beaten Silent Clubstep, Abyss of Darkness, Sakupin Circles, Cosmos, and most famously, his first victor turned verifier of Slaughterhouse. He's beaten VSC, the top 1 challenge levels said by most to be harder than Slaughterhouse, verified Deimos, beaten Firework, Limbo, and Edge of Destiny. He also just recently beat Codependent solo, which makes him the first top player, per my own definition of top player, to expand their skill set and beat Codependence solo, something top players like Zoink and Diamond tried but failed to follow through with. Right now he is verifying and has 80% on Grief with Click Between Frames, which is definitely a feat harder than the second hardest level or a top 2 achievement for those who use GD lingo. Grief is a future top 1, and let's be real, the sequel to Slaughterhouse, even if it isn't. I mean, come on, just look at it. A future or upcoming top 1, for those who don't know, is a level being verified harder than the current hardest level in the game, meant to be the next hardest level in the game. Doggy has 80% on this level while using a mod which makes clicks and timings a bit easier. Very impressive stuff. Doggy is comfortably above Tiago for beating Acheron before him, beating VSC, Silent Clubstep, and getting 80% on Grief, which is probably harder than 73% on Tidal Wave, Click Between Frames or not.
Yes! Fuck you! Yes! Yes! Fuck!
In our number 4 spot, we have Nethermind. Nethermind is the new most underrated player, having a top 3 year in my opinion. He's basically if W Popoff had a son or protege, it would totally be Nethermind. In this year alone, Nethermind has beaten Acheron in the least amount of attempts, Sakupin Circles, VSC, Sonic Wave Infinity, Solar Flare, Kiyuki, Abyss of Darkness, Midnight, The Hallucination, Firework, Menace, Combustion, Walter White, Mayhem, and Psychopath. Oh, you thought I was done? The Young Geyer, Saul Goodman, Spectre, Poo Cubed, Minus Dry, Tunnel of Despair, Deimos, and Cosmos twice in a row. This dude is absolutely insane, and I can see him doing a lot more in the future. Just like W Popoff, he can be the next undisputed top player with some time and a little more strategic thinking in terms of what levels to go for. For instance, he should probably clear the top 10 or verify a new top 1. That's the caliber of guy we're talking about right now. I'm putting Nethermind above Doggy because Doggy, let's be real, takes a long time and a lot of attempts to beat top levels. You can watch my previous video on why attempt count actually matters even though the community swear it doesn't. I don't see Doggy having the year Nethermind did this year any year, especially since they have almost the same catalog now. Consider how much effort it took Doggy to beat Cosmos. And now consider the fact that Nethermind beat it twice in a row, the second time being right after his very first completion. Doggy is also dodgy about beating certain top levels. For instance, he was dodgy on Kiyuki, with Trick even encouraging him to beat it, yet he still hasn't. He was even dodgy with lower end levels compared to his skill range, like the Hallucination and Solar Flare. Finally, although Nethermind has never beaten a current top 1 and Doggy has, give Nethermind grief and click between frames and I think it would have been verified by now. Now chill the fuck out, nobody's attacking Doggy, it's just that he is a fan favorite and therefore I needed some extra convincing as to why I put Nethermind above him.
He beat it! Oh, he beat it! He beat it! He beat it! Are you serious?
Oh my god! 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 Oh my god!
This time last year, Zoink was the undisputed best player. He has absolutely insane accomplishments. He is one of 3 people to have the entire top 10 list completed by the beginning half of the year. He verified the top 3 back to back to back with Acheron, then Avernus, and then Tidal Wave. With this current demon list, he has verified the top 4 and is the only one to have beaten all 10 levels in the current top 10. Although another player is close and could accomplish this before this video comes out. He beats levels insanely fast with shockingly low attempt counts, as I said last year. He has the most first victor cards of any top player, which goes to prove my point. Remember how I said that Thunder was fast? Yeah, Zoink is way faster. At one point, he beat the entire top 75 levels in the game, which is the entire main list, and was the second person ever to do that. It's also worth mentioning he verified a buffed version of Acheron when Acheron was top 1, meaning he beat the hardest level in the game, and then beat an even harder version of the hardest level in the game. In 2024, Zoink slowed down a bit, but still held his own. He verified No Escapes, which is apparently top 4. He beat Ashley Wave Trials with click between frames. He's the second victor of Anathema, second victor of Menace, first victor of Jigsaw, and has beaten over 10 mainless levels that weren't top 10 this past year. He also beat Slaughterhouse in 1.1 times speed and Sonic Wave in 1.35 times speed, which is the hardest speed hack demon. He also verified Quantus processing, which might be worth mentioning depending on where or if it gets placed. He's now working on Thinking Space 2. All in all, I have to put Zoink comfortably ahead of Nethermind because although he has slowed down this year, his insane raw skill has not left him. Also, Nethermind is just catching up on the achievements Zoink has done months, if not years ago. The only thing Nethermind did in 2024 that Zoink hasn't already done is Cosmos twice in a row and VSC. Considering Zoink verified Tidal Wave, the current hardest level, I'd say he sits comfortably in our number 3 spot.
Oh my fucking god! Oh my god! Acheron! I verified Acheron! What? I beat Tidal Wave! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
During Zoink's tirade of top-level play, Trick was the only person who was remotely close to his skill. This time last year, I said Trick was in our number 2 spot, and if it weren't for the person in number 1 being a robot, he would have the number 1 spot. Although still being at number 2, Trick in my eyes has officially surpassed the robot. Trick is most known for verifying Firework, which this year was knocked out of the top 10. This didn't stop Trick from going on an absolute tirade. With a top 2 year in my opinion, Trick, right after beating VSC, became the second victor of Avernus. Trick then went on to finish what he started and became the first victor of Tidal Wave. With these 2 achievements, Trick is now the second person to have the full top 10 from the beginning half of 2024 completed. He then beat Tunnel of Despair and went on to secretly beat over 30 main list levels to overtake Zoink's spot as the number 1 player. For a couple of months, Trick was the undisputed top number 1 player and had the most mainless demons completed out of anyone. Now with the completion of VSC and 61% on Amethyst, Trick is officially just as, if not slightly more accomplished than Zoink. Although some people make compelling arguments as to why Zoink would be above Trick, I think they are already super even in terms of skill, although one has been playing 2 levels harder than Tidal Wave, and the other hasn't touched a level harder than Tidal Wave. Trick has beaten Slaughterhouse over 100 times and came in second place in the Slaughterhouse race. He placed first in the Geometry Dash Cash Cup by absolutely wiping the floor with Thunder. He was the first victor of Spectre and was almost the first victor of Anathema, getting 92% 3 weeks before A6 and Zoink beat it, but then quit out of nowhere. He's currently working on Amethyst, which is said to be the easiest upcoming top 1, but that isn't to take away from Trick, as it's still harder than Tidal Wave. His consistency in beating levels is also noteworthy. Trick also mentioned going for runs on Eternus after beating Amethyst, but we'll see if he was joking or not. All in all, I think I explained why Trick is above Zoink in my eyes, and why he definitely deserves the number 2 spot.
I beat Acheron! I beat it! I beat Tidal Wave! I beat it! I beat it! Oh my god! I beat it! Oh my god!
And in our number 1 spot, we have none other than W Popoff. Now remember when I said last year that Trick was in our number 2 spot because the person in our number 1 spot is a robot? Well, Popoff isn't a robot. He's a prodigy. At the age of 13, he beat Slaughterhouse, Acheron in the least amount of attempts when it was top 1, Sucoup in Circles, a nerfed Slaughterhouse, won the True Effect race, beating that level over 60 times, and was the first victor of buffed Acheron, just like Zoink, beating it when it was top 1. All at the age of 13. At the age of 14, he went from being the number 12 ranked player to the number 3 ranked player. He beat Silent Clubstep, was the second victor of Tidal Wave, and almost beat Trick for first victor despite him having less progress on Tidal Wave. He beat Slaughterhouse over 100 times and won the Slaughterhouse race, beating Trick, who also beat Slaughterhouse over 100 times. He beat Slaughterhouse 3 times in a row, which is debatably the hardest achievement in the game. He beat Abyss of Darkness in 4 days with 12,000 attempts, the attempt world record. He beat VSC in 3 days and twice in 1 day in under 20,000 attempts. He's beaten Acheron over 11 times. He beat Avernus in less than a week. He then beat Kiyuki and Cosmos, which made him the 3rd person to beat the first half of 2024's top 10 list. He would then go on to beat Firework, After beating Edge of Destiny in world record attempts, he finally slowed down, beating main list levels here and there. This is why I think he had the best year over Trick and Nethermind. Popoff went from being the most underrated player to being in everybody's top 3, and gained 10 times the amount of subscribers on YouTube. That just goes to show how much respect he's earned himself in the community in 2024 alone. He's currently verifying what is said to be the hardest upcoming top 1, Vehemence, and has 35% if I'm remembering correctly. What solidifies him above Zoink and Trick is his speed and consistency. W Popoff almost had first victor of Tidal Wave, starting from 48% to Trick's 62. He beat Trick in the Slaughterhouse race and has beaten top 10 levels faster than he has. For instance, Silent Clubstep, Avernus, Tunnel of Despair, and Abyss of Darkness. He's also faster than Zoink and has beaten levels in even less attempts and time. Do you realize how insane that is? Beating levels faster and in less attempts than Zoink? Zoink, the kid known for beating things shockingly fast. And before you go saying, attempt count doesn't matter, I'll repeat myself, I have a whole video on that topic. Give it a watch. W Popoff also beat Zoink's hardest, which is Tidal Wave, on top of beating Slaughterhouse 3 times in a row, which is debatably even harder than Tidal Wave. And the reason why both Trick and Popoff are above Zoink is because they have spent a good portion of 2024 practicing upcoming top 1s without CBF, while Zoink hasn't played anything harder than Tidal, like I already stated. And listen to what I said about W Popoff last year. Even to the extent that some think that he's hacking. He has lots of potential and could be the next undisputed top player if he remains consistent through the years. Looks like it didn't even take a couple of years.
Finally a flute! Yes!
Wait, hold on. Just gotta notify some people real quick, guys. Wait, Diamond, what's your opinion on me, you know, re-beating VSC the same day where I beat it in the same hour?
Oh my god. Wait.
I did it! I did it! I did it!
Is he serious, bro?
Yay.
Bro, put the ball in my hands, shoot it, boom! Game time! Well, we beat it. What do I say for a reaction, guys? Because I really don't know what to say. I beat it. Bro, what?
So at number 1 we have Popoff, W Popoff with 7,079 points.
Good shit.
Which is wild. Beats it like what? How many times Ice Cave?
He beat it 17 times.
17 completions. That is
You
insane.
can count all those.
That's my list for this year. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. My predictions is that Light will fall off, unfortunately. We'll be seeing more from Servax and Nethermind. I think W Popoff will be the undisputed top 1 player this year, while Trick and Zoink will take a back seat by playing this game at their own pace. I don't think Doggy will be doing any level harder than Grief, but maybe he'll finally do Kiyuki. Thunder has a lot of loose ends to tie up. Tyago also has to finish Tidal Wave, but I'm not confident that either of them will go for anything harder than that. Mizuki can go in either direction, playing the game more and becoming more known, or letting it die down. I also think he will eventually beat Tidal Wave. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for the support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Jump off, do a 360 backflip. Huh.
I was about to break his back.
Oh, damn. He died.
I'm tired of him.
Bro needs to hit his restart key.
Survive now.